Welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode we'll be doing the French turn 10 of La Bataille de Hanau. In the prior coalition turn I mentioned the change in victory conditions, well I wouldn't say change, clarification of victory conditions, that the French need to clear the coalition of everywhere on the opposite bank of that river. You mentioned in the special rules it says north of, but north of also includes west of. So I have to clear the coalition from this nice little nugget of defence they've got sitting around here as well. Okay, so all the way right up to the top. Now there are no coalition forces along here. There are some cavalry up the top here, which I again didn't think of them as being north of, because my line of thinking was that's where the river goes before going north of, and then everything there is west of. But if that cavalry had moved over to here, then yes, in my mindset. But I can't see me gaining the 30 VP because I'm not quite sure what to do about these two boys. Even if they just remain lurking in the forest there, it's still technically north of. I'd need to get some infantry to deal with them, and all my infantry are over, all my quality infantry anyway, here and here. I do have 1 or 2 units here. Most of those are going to be needed to take out this town, the town of Hanau. Okay, so let's get started on this turn. I've got the obligatory cup of tea sitting there quite happily waiting for me for when I pause. And the first thing we do is check army levels. The French have got 20 losses and 3 disordered for a total of 23 army morale. The coalition have got 71 losses and 14 disorganised units for a total of 85 army morale, which puts them over the level, so they are currently demoralised and will take a -1 to all morale checks that they will have been subsequently suffering. Next up is my command phase. Now the Emperor, where is the little tow rag? He's sitting here, which means that all the commanders sort of this side are out of command. He's got a command range of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so anything west of the pencil are out of command, as in leader wise. So I'll mark those 2 there. Victor as well. You know what, I'm just going to stick a Victor out of command right in the centre of those. Okay. The commanders here, however, are in command. Just not the troops here. Napoleon himself taking personal command of 3 cavalry units here. So they're in command. The infantry of the Imperial Guard, Friars here, they are all in command at present as well. There's an artillery of the guard unit here, which is out of command of its commander, which is Drouon over here. So the only thing it can do is either stay in place or fire or move back towards Drouon. Now the individual units of these commanders here are within command range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so it's 10 movement points, or 10 hexes, sorry, not movement points, from the army commander to his subsequent corps commanders, and then 6 movement points from, 6 hexes from the corps commanders to their individual units. So these units can still move and act. It's just that the commanders can, the only place they can move is back towards Napoleon. So it gives a limited operation. So in this area, these are within command range of their commanders, so they can still operate effectively in this area. But once they've got, as these guys can't move, I can only really project 6 hexes beyond where the commanders are, unless I bring Napoleon back for the last couple of turns. So yes, this is a 10, so we're on turn 10 for the French, and this is a 12 turn scenario. So effectively I've got 3 turns to try and clear, as I said earlier, this little conundrum here. And Hanau, not quite sure what to do about those 2 up there, and obviously I want to do as much damage as I can to the Austrian line here. Okay, so the next phase is the cavalry charge phase, and yes, there are some cavalry charges. Predominantly, well, we're going to start down this area here, where we have some cavalry here and here that are going to do some charging. So first thing is these 3 regiments will try to declare the charge. Their frontage is these 3 front hexes here, so the frontage, once they change it to charge formation, must correspond because then I've got a frontage of 2, at least one of those, 2 of those hexes were part of the 3 that they had when they were in column formation. So in that formation, that costs nothing to change that formation, to declare the charge. They move across the actual stream for 7 movement points. The stream itself is +6, into there for 7. At which point, these guys will attempt to form square, as my opponent's diktat is form square if at all possible. Okay, so their morale printed is 8, and they are Unit 34. Make sure check their losses. Unit 34. There's only 1, so it's not affecting them in that regard. So the morale 8. Lamotte makes 9. Now I should look at the guns. Yeah, the 8. Sorry, the 8. Yeah, it makes 9. However, they are fatigued, takes it down back down to an 8, and they are demoralised. Demoralised takes them to a 7. So they need a 7 to form square. They rolled an 8. They rolled an 8. Just had to check the rules on that one again. Okay, so they failed the morale check, so they instantly disorganise, but they do not do the 2 hex retreat. So they're going to be hit whilst it's organised. This is turn 10, so I need to put a 10 marker under them. Now we have to test for the guns, because the guns are now stacked with a demoralised unit. So the morale of the guns is 8, +1 from Lamotte is 9, -2 for being with a demoralised unit takes them to a 7, and then stacking with a disorganised unit, plus they're demoralised, plus they're fatigued. So they're going to be 8 + 1 is 9, take away 4 is 5. No, they fail by 1 point as well. Okay, so the guns will be marked with disorganised guns. Okay, that's not too good for them. So voltigeurs will disappear. My cavalry at this point has spent 7 movement points. Well, they're going to carry on. They've got no reason not to, because I can rout this stack. The guns can't fire now because they're disorganised. Okay, well, as they disorganised, I was going to bring this cavalry unit here to assist in the charge. This unit was actually going to go here and here, hopefully tempting the enemy cavalry to countercharge them. And this cavalry then was going to continue into these as well. However, I don't need to do that now. So I will keep the rest of those cavalry back. I'm not going to charge infantry in town or infantry across this Kinzig River. So that's the charges on this side of the board completed. Okay, let's move to the other side of the board. Yes, you get my little sound effects there. Right. We currently have 2 cavalry regiments here that can't charge. One, because they're disordered, and 2, they've got the post-charge marker, which will be removed in a moment. But there is 1 cavalry regiment here that can charge, and it will do so. Okay. So, again, it's a column facing with those 3 frontage. When it forms into its line of charge, it must have a frontage equal to at least 2 of those. So its frontage was those 3. It's going to have a frontage of that. Okay. Now, the target is these. I'm going to try and come round here and hit these guys in the flank. So what are the options? They can try and form square, which I also wouldn't mind them doing, because then my guard infantry can hit them whilst they're in square formation. However, my opponent did declare, if threatened, because they've got the enemy here, but the Austrians here have no cavalry whatsoever. So the orders were try and form square. 3 hexes, 1, 2, 3 is the best opportunity for them to do so. So their morale is 6. It's not so good. Sorry, their morale's 8. It's the green number. Their morale's 8. Klano makes them 10, which is good. However, they are fatigued. So 10 becomes a 9, and they're demoralised is an 8, but they do get a bonus because it's 3 hex distance. So back to 9. So 9 and they're okay. So this should be. Yes, they form a square. Now, there are guns in that hex. So it all depends on how he wants the guns to be protected now. Okay, so the guns will stay on top. That means that they will be able to fire at half effect. If they go underneath the square, they wouldn't be able to fire at all. So these here, they can fire into these 2 hexes at the present moment. Obviously the square's got all round facing. I do not now want my cavalry to charge into a square, now that they've actually made a square. However, at the present moment, I've still not paid any actual movement costs. So I will now do so. For a cost of 2 movement points, and I'll keep that little side record here at the present moment. Okay, they change facing. Now, light cavalry can make up to 3 facing changes in the charge phase. Okay, and they will go into there for 3 movement points. It's for a total of 3 movement points, which immediately removes those 2. Now, this unit here, or these units, can also attempt to form a square. I could have done it here as well. I think I'm going to give them the benefit of hindsight and allow them to do it from that range there, which is 1, 2, 3 hexes away. And I'm also going to allow this unit to make the same test as well, because if these form a square, this cavalry is going to actually come and try and hit these guys in the flank. So the cavalry's trying to roll up, or at least force these guys into squares, because then it makes them more vulnerable for the infantry there. And maybe if I can get some guns down here, finish the job. Okay, so still at 3 movement points. This unit here will be testing for that position. Their morale on the lead unit is unit number 28. Check for its losses. Alright, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so it's got printed morale of 8, -2 for demoralised and fatigued. Takes them to 6, but they get +1 because it was 3 hexes away. 7. 7 or less and they form square. 5, they form square too. Okay. Give me French square. And I will test this unit here on the same conditions, because now my cavalry can then wheel again, move into here, here, and threaten their flank. So again, they're 1, 2, 3 hexes away. Their printed morale is 8, Becker's 9, 3 hexes away, 10, -2 for demoralised and fatigued, makes them an 8. And they roll 5. So they're okay as well. They form a square. But, as I say, that sort of suits what I wanted to do with my cavalry anyway, is to threaten these guys. Okay, enough that they did form square. So my cavalry's moved 3. What can it do at this point? Because it doesn't want to charge into any squares. There are now routed guys here that are also vulnerable. I will take shots as I move through, but hit the routed guy, get them moving on, could be useful. So let's see what actually happens. So they move from here to here for 4 movement points, and they take an artillery shot as they do so. There's artillery here, you can shoot from here as they move into there as opportunity fire. Now the battery has got a strength of, let's just double check, battery 29, make sure it's full strength. Battery 29 is full strength. So it's got a fire value of 4 into there, but it classes moving from this hex to this hex, so it's 4, 3, and then because they're in the square, it's halved to 1.5. I believe it's rounded up, so it's fire value of 2. Fire value of 2. The 1 is a miss. Okay. Mr. Clanner back there. Now, as my cavalry move from this into here, they get shot at again. Again, opportunity fire. Top unit from the battery. So the battery will be now at 4. As they move from there to there. Halved. Because of the being in the square. So it's a fire, again, fire value of 2. And they rolled a 4. I think it was fire value of 2, you need a fire value of 6, just double check. Yeah, that's a miss. Okay, and then as they move from here to here, okay, they get shot at again, but this time just by the square. The square's got a fire value of 1. So 6 required for a hit. No. And that's my 5th movement point for that cavalry. They've now contacted the routed unit. And as soon as you move adjacent to a routed unit, they rout. So as soon as my cavalry moves adjacent, they do a full rout movement. So it's like my cavalry just tap them with a sword and off they go. Alright, so that's I'll move one of them and then pile the other ones on top. So that'll be 1, 2, let me just move the camera a little bit more. 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 3 forwards? Double check the movement costs forwards. Infantry's 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're loitering on the board edge in a very unhappy state. Okay, so that's my cavalry done 5 at the present moment. It will then push on again into here for 6. So they take another opportunity fire shot. And they take a hit. Darn it. Well, I suppose you can't have everything for nothing. Okay, so it's unit number 10. Unit 10, that's their first loss. They've only got 2 steps. Okay, so their morale, so they only have to test morale, is 10. That's the only modifier. Actually, it's not, because Napoleon is fatigued, and he's under the command of Napoleon, so their actual morale is 9. Okay, so they're fine. Soon as they move here, these also rout. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's keep it easy. It doesn't say anything that they go the most or the cheapest route. And running through the woods where they know cavalry couldn't hit them, from a story or narrative point of view, seems more logical. That puts my cavalry here, which I'm fairly happy with, because they will then engage this disordered unit here. 6 movement points. And that's my cavalry charges done for the turn. At which point I remove the charge marker or post-charge marker from the other 2 cavalry units. And then we move on to the movement phase. Okay, movement phase. Move that out of the way. Alright, so I've got some guard infantry here. I'm going to move those against these. I think they're all Bavarians around here. Yeah, the Bavarians are very fearful of the Imperial Guard, having fought alongside them for so many years. So, with that in mind, let's move forward. As these move forward, the voltigeurs have a fisticuff fight with each other, and they're removed. Actually, we'll move this one first to get rid of those. So that's 1, 2 into there, and then they move into there. Okay, there is another regiment here. They form column. Let's move Friant back a little bit. So they form column here. Right at the edge of this recording, there we go. So they had a line with frontage of those 2 hexes when they form the column. Again, 2 of the front hexes must be the same. So that's 1 movement point. They can do a 60-degree turn for free per hex. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And at the same time, they'll have their skirmisher be moving with them to the front. Okay. Friant won't be moving with them at the present moment in time. Okay, what else we got down here? Napoleon is stacked with some more unit over there. That's unit number 3 of the guard. Now, did I move Napoleon last time so they can start recovering some actual boys back to the colours at 03? Or do I need, I think I need maybe one more unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's all the units of the guard I'm going to send down there at the present moment. Let's just move the camera back a little bit. Alright, open up. Okay. So we have a battery here. It is a foot battery. This here is a unit of the Imperial Guard. Again, 1 movement point, 2, no, that's 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and Friant, away with him. They're on 10 fatigue at the present moment, and they'll be gaining another one for this turn. Same as Napoleon will be gaining one for his cavalry charge. But again, it's done at the end of the turn. Okay. MacDonald's troops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They will also be gaining fatigue. Alright. This battery, part of the guard artillery. Yeah. Must start moving back towards the guard artillery commander, who is on the other side over there. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. This battery is a horse battery. Can't move away, although we could, as long as he ends up closer. Again, Drouot is way over on this, over here. So, 2 to limber, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. There's a disorganised unit here. They can only move back towards lines of communication, which is up to the top here. So it just remains where he is. Then we have the French reinforcements coming in along the road over the top here. The new boy coming in. They can move, they've got a movement of a value of 6, and they gain +2 bonus for moving along the road to take them to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's Maman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, I haven't quite decided where I'm going to move the Emperor yet. He's still here. His cavalry hopefully will reorganise. Do I use him to ensure that happens? Yeah, nothing like a bit of insurance. Okay. Right, so he's moved and joined this disordered cavalry here to hopefully get it ready for next time. Only other slight adjustments. That's it. The movement on this side. So let's move the camera to this side of the action. Okay. Right. So, getting into the town. He's hidden here. So little old Victor must come into the town. So the first thing he'll do is put some voltigeurs out. The unit must go into column to cross. So that's one movement point. And then cross. Light infantry will contest here. Mutually removed. So still one movement point to cross. And then they enter the town through the wall. While crossing the wall, let's see, the wall itself, +2. So that would be 1. Formation change 1, 2, maybe the bridge is the next one, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the wall. So they enter there. Yeah, let's have Victor leading the charge there. Right. Okay. That's maybe not so 17. Right, so that coalition unit's got 2 steps. Victor, that's the unit. It's also got 2 steps, so it's not certain that is actually going to be a win. Anyway, do we have a horse battery? Where is the nearest horse battery? They're all down here, aren't they? Okay. Alright, so what to do with my artillery? There's a fair amount of guns sitting there. I can't hit this target. If I could get the guns here or here, then maybe I could. Broken ground, difficult terrain, 2 for artillery. Okay. So he's got 5. Remembering the commanders over here can't move, so I'm sort of getting to the limit of my chain of what I can actually do. Alright, unit number 19. So you've got 1 step. Okay, and Victor's unit 30. So I'm just comparing strengths here. Yeah. Alright, so the unit here from Victor. We'll deploy skirmishers. You can deploy skirmishers in your movement phase. The only other time you can do it is during the rally phase. So, you deploy skirmishers. Moves here for 1. Well, he was there. Actually, we'll change facing for 3. Then move into here with his skirmishers move into there. So that's 1. Clear the 2 skirmishers aside. And then they move into there. Okay. So this is a horse battery. So 2 to limber, 3. Now I want to avoid moving into charge range, opportunity charge. Now these are, they've got line and light. Light cavalry can charge up to this point. I'll use a little red dice to show its charge zone. So they can charge, if I move into there they could charge me. So I want to avoid doing that with the guns. So far they've 2 to limber, 3, 4, you know what, I think that actually 5, 6 to unlimber. And this is another horse battery. So 2 to limber, 3, 4, 5, 6 to unlimber. Now I know here, hopefully my cavalry will win the fight here, that they should do by all laws of probability. And then they'll have to sort it back, so I'm going to put some cavalry here. 1, 2, crossing stream, loads, but enough. And this cavalry here. The commander's back here. No, maybe get some cavalry across this river, but then I'll have to move the guns first, because cavalry and artillery cannot stack together. Okay, so this battery here for 2, 3. Not any extra for crossing the bridge. No. So it's 2, 3. Alright, 2 to limber, 3. The crosses in there to do facing change. Still 3. Do another facing change for 4, and you can't move any further. Two, 3, 4. What Burke put his cavalry on there? So, okay, that was me. So, free change, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this battery then goes 2, 3, 4, commanders can't move, but the cavalry definitely can. So it's 1, crossing the stream, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Drew himself. I'm going to change that carry move a bit there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just a slight rethink on my cavalry here. Okay, let's just take that back. I want a light cavalry there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like cavalry at the end of the line there, because these heavy, I didn't check that these are actually heavies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. They can't even get across the stream, but they can. Yeah, it's just a slight readjustment. Put light cavalry here because he has got cavalry here that could threaten the guns. So if he does bring these forward, my cavalry can countercharge here. Okay. That's the theory anyway. I honestly do not know what to do about the guys right at the top of the map there. These guys. Almost want to dismount and face off, but that ain't gonna happen. So, and they're gonna cost me 30 victory points. Hence why I've got to do as much damage as I can to the rest of the coalition army. Anyway, enough pontificating and whinging. So I think that concludes the movement of the coalition forces. Coalition? French forces. Defensive fire phase. Okay, so we have some here. Guns can't fire, but the infantry can. But they are disorganised, so the printed fire value is 2, which is half to 1. The fire value of 1, so it requires a 6 for a hit. No. Okay, moving along the line. Diverters boys in Kesselstadt. Fire value of 1 on the incoming column. No. In Hanau itself, this unit here, again, fire value of 1. That scores a hit. Okay, well that will curtail Victor's enthusiasm. That's unit 31, takes a hit. Okay, they've got to take a morale check. And their morale is 8, Victor 9, but they are in the blue, as it were. That takes them back to an 8. Okay, shift the camera across there. They're okay. Alright. And then moving further down the front, so let's move the camera. Okay. Not too close. Right, okay. So over here, we've got this. But you can't fire at skirmishers. This square here, fire value of 1. Let me just double check that. Yeah, the fire value of a square is 1, no matter what its printed fire value. So require a 6. Ooh. Boo hiss. Hits the guard. Guard unit number 4. How rude. Okay, well they're taking some losses. Right. Morale check. Now their printed morale is 11. However, they are extremely fatigued. That drops them down by 2, so their printed morale is a 9. Or their morale now is a 9. They're loving it. Loving it. Next square along. Fire value of 1. That's a miss. Okay, so that's defensive fire finished. Offensive fire. I will start here. So we have a skirmisher firing to Clay now there. Needs a 6 to hit. Nope. And these columns coming in again have only got a fire value of 1. So 1 on the first unit. It's a 5, not good enough. 1 from the second unit. 6 required when it's fire value of 1. Nope. So no hits from there. Okay. I'm actually going to do the melee phase in this area and then move over to the offensive fire onto the other side of the board. Okay, so the square is melee at half effect, and this Imperial Guard, there's only 1 step here now. So he'd be coming in, now he's got a printed melee value of 4, coming in as column is 5, 5 times 1 will be 5. And the square, now how many steps have we actually got here? Unit 18 and Unit 28. Unit 18 has got 1 step, and 28 has got 2 steps. So there's 3 steps there. Now units in square have a melee value, I believe it's half, but I'll just double check. Half the printed melee value when defending against infantry. Okay, so they are 1 times 3 is 3, but then half that, 1.5, and where, so it's 2 times 1 is 2, sorry, half to 1, and 2 times 2 is 4, half to 2, so total value is 3. So that'll be 5 to 3. Yeah, there's 2 steps remaining in this unit. 2 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4, half to 2, and 1 from that. So yes, so that would be 5 to 3, 1 to 1. Ooh, with no positive modifier. That's swingy. 1 to 1. There's 2 chances of losing a step here. The other one, that's Unit 1 of the Imperial Guard. That's 5 steps. Against Mr. Becker's here. That unit 25. It's got 3. So this unit will be 2 times 3 is 6, half to 3. And that'll be 50, so that'll be 5 to 1. So let's do the 5 to 1 and I'll contemplate the other one. So 5 to 1 on this square here. Five to 1 with a 6. Well, that's as good as it's going to be. That is actually eliminated. They cease to be. Now, there's a chance then that Becker's will go down as well at that point. Leader loss. Let me refer to the rules on that. Yes, the subsequent check is made for Beck's on a 6. He is eliminated. 5. He gets away with it. Oh, where does he go to? I suppose he'll fall back into the square adjacent. I'm not sure if he should add to the melee there, but I'm not too sure what happens there. But yeah, that unit went down big time. I actually should have resolved this cavalry melee first, this cavalry hit, this disordered unit first. 10. Cavalry should have been, yeah, that's my bad. Cavalry unit 10. Okay, he's only got 1 step. So his melee value is 6 times 1 is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. The infantry here, 16, should get a shot. Oh, blimey, what's going on? 5 value 1. No. Okay. So unit 16 has got 2 steps. So 1 times 2 is 2. Halves is 1, so it's 6 to 1. Okay, so I know it's a +1 modifier for cavalry hitting disordered units. So it's the 4 to 1 table is the highest it goes. With the 2 is a 1D. I think my cavalry just died. There's an extra step loss because the infantry's in the open. So they rout, taking a step loss. But my cavalry, because of the rubbish roll there, are eliminated because they take a step loss. A 2 on the table. Dear oh dear. Well, that's what the table says. So that Imperial Guard unit 10, I should have checked that when he had 1 step left, but it took a step from the shot, didn't it? From the square. He's now gone. But this one routs, taking a step loss, because it was hit by cavalry in the open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At 5, now that it routes, it goes too high than the current term. Current 10, 11, that's a 12 now. Okay, so I've got to find it. Right. So the question is, do I now hit this square, which will be reinforced by a leader, true, in panic, or wait till next time? I think I'm going to have to wait, because he's only got one increment. So that's the action over there. So the cavalry charge got to be resolved first. Okay. Okay, so offensive fire on this side of the board. So fire over here with Victor. Needing a 6 to hit. No. Okay. Again, here, needing a 6. No, so 1. These artillery batteries here. So I could do 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, can't see. Put the camera right down. Yeah. So this battery here, 6, 5, 4, 3. And then do 5, 4, 3 on that. So 2 lots of 3. Or I could do 6, 5, 4. 4 from this battery. 3, that's 7 on this cavalry. Which I think is the one I'm going to do. Because 7 is a nice number. And a 6 would be really, really nice at this point. A 2. Okay. It's still 1 step loss. 1 step loss on cavalry unit number 9. Front. Okay. They've got 1 step remaining. Okay, so they've got to take a morale check. Their printed morale is 8. And we know they're demoralised 7, and we know they're fatigued 6. 6 to stand. They stand. Gits. Right. Okay, so that is offensive fire. Now to the melee phase over here, and the first one I've got to work out is the cavalry. I've got to remember cavalry done first. Okay. So in this hex here, I have infantry unit 34. Infantry unit 34, he has still got 6 steps there. It's a big unit. So 6 steps. So 2 times 6 is 12, but the disorganised is halved to 6. Disorganised artillery won't add anything to that. So they're at 6. Okay. The cavalry I've got coming in here. Right, so we have, I better check the numbers on here. Unit number 19. Full strength. So that's worth 10. Unit number 24. I've got 1 step. So 6 times 1, that's 10 plus that's 16. And unit 20, full step, full strength. So 5 times 3 is 15. So we're at 35 to 6, so 6 to 1. So maximum odds. Lamotte gives a -1 modifier, but the cavalry hitting disordered unit gets a +1 modifier, so it's a straight roll. They're jammy little toads. It's 1 step each. Compulsory morale check on the defenders, so we'll do that in a moment. 1 step each, but because again it's cavalry hitting infantry in the open, it's an additional loss. So they take 2 step losses, the infantry, and a morale check, and my cavalry take a step loss. So what was their number again? Unit number 34. Blimey, 2 1s. And my cavalry 20 takes their first loss. Right, okay, so the morale check. So the infantry morale is 8. Printed morale, Lamotte makes 9. However, they're disorganised, drops them by 2, so it takes them to 7. They're demoralised, 6, fatigued, 5, and they've just hit, with the losses there, they've hit the grey. If you all remember what that means, maybe look at lost casualty boxes. Wherever the grey, the morale's drop as well by 1. So their morale is 4. 4 to stand, and completely, utterly frustrate me. They just fail. I'm going to just check those numbers, make sure I'm not diddling the books here. So the printed morale is 8. Lamotte makes 9. Because they've hit the grey, that's an 8. They're currently demoralised, drops 2 to 6. Sorry, they're currently disorganised, drops them to 6. They're fatigued, 5. And demoralised, 4. So yes, there you go. Right. So that means my cavalry will be entering that hex. I have to test Lamotte as well because the hex took 2 losses. So let's just check him on a 6. I'll write him down. I write him down. Lamotte has gone. Okay, the guns are written down because they have the disorganised marker. I will be entering their hex. So that gun battery, number 11, that's 2 step losses. And then the infantry disorganised 2. I know we're already disordered, they rout. Oh dear. Right, alright, I'll make sure the camera's on this situation here now. Okay, so this unit routs. So 1, 2, 3, and off the board. As soon as he enters this hex, he forces them to rout as well. Yeah, there's no alternative for it. So 1, 2, 3, gone. Spallini and Fresnel, I think, can remain on the map, but that other unit goes as well. Yes, once the cavalry and such will start getting in amongst disordered and units and breaking them, it turns into a right old mess. So my cavalry can then move forward. Well, must move forward there. Must occupy that hex there. and they can actually hit the unit beyond it, if I so wish. He can countercharge at this point here. Well, not with that lead unit, only with the unit underneath. The Cossacks could technically withdraw before combat, though not quite sure. They haven't really got anywhere to withdraw to. Except off board. Okay, cavalry withdrawal is allowed unless they're charged, and technically this is a continuation of that charge, so they're going to get hit as they are. My melee value hasn't dropped. Yes, it has. I took a step loss, didn't I? So this unit here is now only, it's 5 times 2, so he's 10. Six times 1, that's 16. Plus another 10, it's 26, hitting this Cossack unit, who's at 5. That's 4 to 1. No modifiers. Blind. And the third one. Okay. Right, well, it's still 4 to 1. With a 1, it's 1 each, 1 step each, and a morale check. Yeah, there's no, they're not disorganised or anything, so it's a morale check on that Cossack cavalry. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, so my cavalry unit 20 takes another step, second step loss. Now, when it comes to taking morale checks, when it's fire, you take a step loss, you always take a morale check. When it comes to melee, you are dictated to by the table. You only take a morale check if there's a little star next to the loss, which for the Cossacks there is. So the Cossacks, unit number 22, takes a step loss. And then takes a morale check. Now, their current printing morale is 6. Their formation's demoralised. It's 5. And the formation is fatigued. 4. Okay, so they disorganise. What turn are we? This is turn 10. So they get a turn 10 marker and sit on the road. My cavalry go no further at that point. Well, they don't charge for it. I now have an option to fall back with them 2 hexes and take a voluntary disruption, which I will do. 1, 2 to here. Place a post-charge marker on them. And also at that point, they will get a demoralised markers. 1 less than the current turn, so it's turn 10, so they get a 9 on them. Showing that it was a voluntary decision. Okay, now into Victor's unit here, unit number 10. I'll move the camera a little bit. Here, now, how many boys has he got left in the colours? Sorry, yeah, 30. He's got 4 steps there. Now, he is attacking into a town, sorry, village, -2. So his melee value is 2. Because it's a column, it adds 1, so it's 3. 3 times, but there's minus 2 because of the town, so it's back to 1 again. 1 times 4 is 4. This particular unit, defending, number 19, has 1 step remaining. Okay. 2 times 1 is 2. So it'll be 4 to, it'll be 2 to 1 with a minus 1 for Werder. Yeah, let's do it. Can't roll 4 ones in a row, can I? Bloody can. Alright, so 2 to 1 with a 0. I'm not getting any other modifiers there, am I? 2 to 1 with a 0 is we both take a step loss and I've got to take a morale check. Now he only had 1 step remaining, so he's eliminated. Let's shoot number 19. And he's gone. My unit, number 30, takes a step loss, that's his first, and then takes a morale check. Printed morale is 8. Yep, printed morale is 8. Where is Victor? Victor's over here in the town. So it's still Victor's fatigue dice. What was that on there? Yeah, so they're not fatigued, so it's an 8. They disorganise and fall back. 2x is 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2 towards line of communication. And they will get a 10 marker on them. Okay. And Mr. Werder has to take a test because the unit he's attacked with is eliminated. On a 6, I take him out. He's the army commander. No. Right. Nearest unit is over there. Okay, that wasn't in the playbook. Right, so then it's up to Victor. Do I assault in Hanau? Okay, we're both in general order here now. So, I think I've only got 1 step there, haven't I? Yeah, So, once 4 is 4 against unit 17. I think he's only got 1 step. No, he's got 2. Okay. Maybe not. No, I might have to wait until we get some other guys up there. Okay, so that concludes the French melee phase. French rally phase. Right, well, can't rally these guys because they've only just recently gone down. So I'm going to shift the camera over to here. Alright, and move it. Okay, so we've got some cavalry stacked with Napoleon here. Their morales are 9. Fatigued 8. The Emperor more than 12, but a 12 is always a fail. So top unit 9 passes. The other unit, so both pass, and there's an infantry unit up here. His printing morale is 8. Comes to 6 because they're disorganised. Should have taken that into consideration with the Guard cavalry, or the cavalry here. The highest die roll was a 9. They're still going to be fine because of the Emperor. Okay, so their morale printed is 8. They rolled a 6. There's 2 for being demoralised. Let's just check their actual losses. Sorry, not demoralised, disorganised. Unit number 28. Unit number 28. Yeah, they're at the blue, which is the same as the grey for the coalition. So their morale drops one. So their printed morale is actually 7. They needed a 5 to pass, so they fail. So 2 X's. They're not coming back. Okay, so that's the rally phase. Do I want to put out any skirmishers? The answer is yes. Out there. Right, Victor will put some out in Hanau. I think that's it for that. Then for fatigue, again, right, well, Napoleon gains 1. So he goes to 8. Frank gains 1, putting him to 11. MacDonald gains 1, putting him to 5. Victor gains 1, putting him to 5. It's a bit worrying. And my 2 cavalry here gain 1. So Nansalti goes up to 5. And the other guy, whose name I can't remember, Sebastiani, gains 1, goes to 4. And Marmont, marching as fast as he can down the road, goes to 3. Now, I'm not quite sure what happened. Now that, yes it is, they get a replacement leader, don't they? Yes. And taking his fatigue, Lamoste, not quite sure where he will go, because he's the replacement for Lamotte. And he's meant to be a variant. There we go. So, not sure where he goes. I will discuss that with my opponent, where he wants him to go, if he has any choice at all. Well, that concludes the French turn 10. I hope you've enjoyed what you've been watching. If you have done so, please hit the like and subscribe button. And any comments will be much appreciated. Thank you for watching.